So, you're a business owner dedicated to the significant and sustainable growth of both you and your business. Welcome to the Add a Zero podcast.
Hi, I'm Jay Allen from My True North, and this is the Add a Zero podcast. And over the next 3 episodes, I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 most common challenges that the clients that we're working with have been facing right now. If you're an SME business owner based in the UK, then thank you for subscribing and listening or watching this podcast. It's a delight to have you with us, and it's part of my mission to be able to eradicate unemployment in this country by being able to help you as a business owner to scale so sufficiently that we create more jobs than there are those actively seeking employment. To date, we've helped business owners from around the UK generate more than 800 new jobs. And I want you to benefit from the things that we have to share within the Add a Zero methodology to enable you to take on your next member of staff also. So let's look at one of the most common challenges that I often come across when speaking to SME business owners, perhaps before we start working with them to address it. I'm talking about the effectiveness and the efficiency of their marketing. Now, you might argue, yeah, it's all right, Jay, we've already got that. I'll skip on to the next episode. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure that you're doing a fair amount of marketing. But curiosity gets me to then ask, how do you measure your marketing? What metrics are you using to understand as to whether it's working or whether it's not? Well, Jay, we're busy. Great, I'm delighted for you. What's causing that busyness? What enables the phones to ring? What determines that you've got an order book and a forward order book of people waiting for you to do business with them? Because if that's not the case, then perhaps this episode is the one that you want to be stopping the car or not feeding the kids in the background and grabbing a pen and paper and making a few notes. Because today I want to talk to you about the essential metrics that you ought to have in your marketing, marketing's job and role, and how to do it more efficiently and effectively in order to ensure that we are attracting the right type of clients to you and your business. Jay, the right type of client? Yes, I'm talking about being able to attract people that you want to work with, that get it, that understand who you are, that are repeat customers, that happily recommend and refer you to other people. I'm talking about your A-grade list. How do we ensure that we're communicating efficiently and effectively in such a manner that they are attracted to us, that wants to work with us, that continues to buy from us more than once, and recommend and refer us to other people? I'm talking about effective and efficient marketing. Now, first of all, let's dispel one of the most commonly thought myths with regards to marketing. Marketing's job should never be measured in pounds, shillings, and pence. Yes, I am quite that old. Marketing should never be measured in cash. The amount of times I hear people say, oh, it's not working, or it didn't work as well as I wanted. Well, why is that? How did you measure that? Well, we did this marketing campaign, we spent £400 or £500 on it, and it only generated £1,000. Stop. You're measuring the wrong metrics. Marketing's job is not measured in money. Marketing, when done well, is to attract the right type of customer to us and our business. Marketing's job is to be able to make the phone ring. That is the measure. Sales' job is to convert the inquiry into a customer and cash. Marketing's job makes the phone ring. Sales should then pick it up and convert them and finish the deal. Marketing and sales work hand in hand, which is why today we're going to be talking about effective and efficient marketing. And next week's episode, we're talking all around sales and sales strategy. Marketing's job should be measured in phone calls if the call to action is to get them to phone you. Marketing's job should be measured around how much engagement have we had with the post? How many inquiries have we had? What types of inquiries? What are they asking for? What are they not asking for? Which pages on the website have they visited? Have they asked of our frequently asked questions page? And if you haven't got one, why not? Marketing's job is to be able to raise awareness, to be able to put our name and our brand out there to the ideal target client audience, not just anyone who, and to do so in such a sufficient manner to be so specific in our messaging that it resonates well with them, that prompts them to do something, to respond to your call to action, to make the next logical step. Now, the next logical step is probably not to give you your their credit card details. Doesn't make sense. Oh, I've heard about this thing. I'll phone you and I'll give you 16 digits and an expiry date. It's like turning up on a first date with a wedding ring and saying, will you? That's just weird. Well, yeah, it's still weird. Marketing's job is to be able to create awareness, to tell people about who we are and what we do, to share with them the 3 biggest problems that you might be facing that we can help resolve. But not only to tell them about the problems and the fact that we understand what the problems are, but to go further than that, to talk about the implication of not addressing those problems, the long-term impact of leaving it not purchased. What happens if the customer chooses not to buy from you? Remember, choosing to choose not to do something is still a choice. Making a decision not yet is still a decision. It's our job to help them understand that we understand, 1, the problem or the challenge or the pain that they're currently in, the impact not doing something about is likely to have, short-term, mid-term, long-term, recognise what they are unable to do as a result of not having the solution that they need, and then sharing with them what an option or a couple of options that they might choose to move forward with. You could do this, or you might choose to do that. And that would enable you to then do this, to paint the story of what does success look like post-purchase. Marketing's job isn't just talking about features and benefits. That's so 80s, it's out the water. There's cobwebs hanging off it. Marketing's job is to become informative, educational. I call it edutainment. I want to be able to inform someone in such an engaging manner that they feel compelled and willing to be able to learn more, to feel more empowered, to be able to understand more. This podcast is all around being able to help you to grow your business by giving you some better informed decisions to make. That one of them might be, Jay, you've just said something that really resonates with me. I don't know how best to be able to address that, or I'd really feel more comfortable with some help and support in being able to address that because I want what's on the other side of the challenge that I currently face. And some people will be listening or watching this podcast and say, do you know what? I'm going to give Jay a ring. He clearly knows what he's talking about. I'd like some help in being able to address that thing that he's just spoken about. And sure enough, we had people from Series 1 that listened to the podcast, hadn't found me from any other form, didn't find us on the website, weren't looking on Google, hadn't found me on LinkedIn or Facebook, although I'm there and prominent, had listened to the podcast, we'd said something in an episode, they'd built a know, like and trust rapport with us by listening to previous episodes, they got to know me and my language and who I talk to and what I talk about. And then something I'd said in an episode resonated with them enough to be able to get in touch and say, Jay, episode 21 or episode 28 or 57 really, really resonated with me. That's something I'm having a problem with right now. Is that something that you can help and support me to be able to achieve? And they subsequently became a client. We worked with them either on a one-to-one or a once-to-few basis. We might have done a VIP day, just a single intervention, or they might have worked on one of our short-term or longer-term programs to be able to help and address either one or a series of issues. But all the marketing was about being able to help somebody make a better informed decision for when they're ready to be able to make a purchase. Marketing done well is around being able to have an emotional connection with the person that we're trying to communicate with. It's not one to many, although this podcast is going to many different people. It's one to many. I want to talk to you about your business. I want to ensure that the content that we're sharing is relevant to the people with whom we serve. And to do so, I need to understand more about you and the problems and challenges that you face to ensure that the content we create is relevant to you. The more you know your audience, the more and better you can serve your audience. And therefore, the more we listen, actively listen, watch, observe, question, the easier it becomes to become of service to them by understanding what do we need to do to be better equipped and prepared to support what it is that you need right now. Marketing done well is about first understanding your audience. Who do I want to serve? What do they need to hear, to see, to feel in order to feel more compelled, to feel more empowered, to feel more ready and confident to be able to move towards them and say, that makes sense. First of all, it's the market. It's understanding who am I communicating with. For me, it's conscientious UK-based business owners that are looking to be able to significantly and sustainably grow and scale their business, doing things properly and ethically, as opposed to a stack 'em high, sell 'em cheap, I don't care. The people that wants to have a sustainable business, a business that creates the legacy, a business that changes an industry or a profession, a business that has a bigger impact, a business that looks after its staff and its employees and its stakeholders and the local community, a business that is a force for good. If that sounds of interest to you, then I'm delighted to have you watch or listen to this podcast. If all you're interested in is, I just want to make another 10K, another 50K, another £100,000, I don't really care how it matters, then the chances are that we're not a good fit for you, because those things that I've mentioned earlier mean a lot to me, and I can associate more with when it associates and means a lot to you also. So first of all, the market. The second is around, what do I need to communicate? What do I need to say? What will that have an impact on? What would it enable them to be able to then do or think or ask? How do I best communicate with them that resonates most to them? And then finally, how do I get that message to them? Series 1, we did an audio podcast. Series 2, we're now audio and video. We're now on YouTube, as well as Spotify and all the other podcast platforms. It's an audio and visual because we wanted to be able to better communicate at a deeper level with the audience with whom we wish to serve. Understanding how best to be effective in our marketing, the measure of what our marketing is? How do we categorize and how do we understand what to do more of, what to stop doing, what to do differently? Comes from asking poignant questions and remaining and retaining that being of service to the people with whom we wish to serve. By doing so, it resonates at a deeper level. It builds the rapport. It enables us to be able to have a better quality conversation. And as a result of which, it makes the phone ring. And that becomes the measure. The measure of the success of our marketing is in the number of inquiries, the types of inquiries, the types of service that they're looking for us to be able to help and provide them with. Marketing done well makes the phone ring or the email inquiry form complete for people to be able to recommend, to refer, to introduce us to the people with whom we are best set up to serve. Next week, I'm going to talk about once the phones ring, what do you do when you pick it up? Next week, we're going to talk about your sales strategy and understanding as to how to best have a strategy where sales is a service, where we retain that of service to people. That sales isn't sleazy or challenging or confrontational. Next week, we'll be talking about how to be able to take the inquiry that we've just created and convert it into an ideal target client audience. God bless, take care. Let me know how today resonated with you. And if you want some help with your marketing, I'll be delighted to have a conversation. Until next week, see you soon.
That's all for this episode. As always, we really thank you for listening and welcome your comments, thoughts, and suggestions. So please do drop us a line by emailing podcast@mytruenorth.biz. And don't forget, if you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button on whichever platform you're listening to this through. And tell your colleagues and business network all about who we are. You've been listening to the Add a Zero podcast presented by Jay Allen. Brought to you in association with My True North, the UK's leading ethical coaching company.